tabs open so I can see chats.
All right. Well, we are L to the I to the V to the E on a Saturday night, and I, we just gonna try to see what it's gonna be. But this is different for me. This is something I'm not gonna go through all of that. You can read down in the corner. It's OGSneekerz and the homie Marcus from Soulmates.
Yeah, yeah.
And we kind of been talking in the background about doing this for a while. Just I stay in Marcus DMs about camera stuff.
Yeah.
But somebody hit me the other day for the first time, Marcus. Some picture I posted, and they were like, "Well, what do you do? What camera do you use? A camera? Do you use your phone? What do you do?" And I just gave them the whole 9 yards about what I do. But I feel like sometimes, are you the type of person that likes to keep your keys close to your vest,
Uh,
or
no, no, no. I don't have a problem sharing anything that I use. I think a lot of people that I get questions from, they don't realize how expensive it is until you start talking
yeah,
about it, and that kind of steers a lot of people the wrong way. So I try to keep it to where it's like, if you got a good phone, you're good. Like I still post a lot of things with my phone, a lot of pictures and stuff like that. Use a phone. Phone's good if you just want to start with that. But if you really want to start and get technical and seeing exactly what I use, I'll tell you.
right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and I guess I overshot myself. So let me say, this is just a conversation about cameras and kicks. I mean, we probably going to be more cameras and kicks. So if for those of you that jump on, if you have a question about something, as you come up, what up, Caddy? You can drop it in the chat. Mr. Jackson, if you want to get in on this, I will drop the link in the description. You might be out in the street, or I don't know where you are, but let me know. Um, and this is just something, like I said, that we have been talking about trying to do. Um, Trying to see if Trey D is gonna be able to jump in on the conversation. But anyone that's out there that wants to that has a question or wants to try to grab this. I think I did that right. And I can drop this in the chat. Paste. There it is. Um, if you want to jump in, you know, as everybody says, pull up. But so like, let me back up. Where was it because you were getting interested in YouTube that you kind of started to take the deep dive into photography or to cameras, or where did that come from?
Yeah. Yeah. I have a like a s- like just a background story. So I have an aunt that on my dad's sister that is, I wouldn't say she was probably for her age, to put it in modern day terms, she's autistic.
Okay.
I would say somewhere like that, but she's way older before it was called autistic. You know what I mean? So we used to go back home to his hometown, and you would go in her room because she still lived with Big Mama.
Gotcha.
And you go in her room, and her room is filled with pictures and frames. You cannot see her walls. Every time he came back, she wanted to take a picture. She wanted to take a picture. Like, I don't know what she does with these other pictures because she has no room for them.
Mm-hmm.
So fast forward to now, I wanted to get into YouTube because of the creating aspect of it. I was like, okay, I can create. It became artwork to start, and okay. At first, it was just I got these shoes. I want to show these shoes, and then it turned in. Okay, I'm looking at other videos. I want to put that in my video. I want to
Right.
try that, and it wasn't even other sneakers YouTubers channels. It was people that wasn't even doing sneakers, and I'm like, I want to put that in this, and then okay, let me. I'm looking at Peter McKinnon. I'm looking at Casey Neistat. Just looking at all these other people that are into the camera gear, and I'm like, okay, what are they using? How can I get that blurry background? How can I get that that bokeh?
Right.
And then it just started stacking up. I was like, okay, let me get this. I'm gonna get this, and then it just spiraled into this blow. Like, oh, now I can take pictures with it, and it was just, I love it, man. It's fun to me.
So would you say? Oh, I see. The sis Cuter Queen is in the building. What's up, sis?
Cute.
Would you say you spend more time with video or equal time with like your shoe pics and so forth?
Um, I
Oh,
we don't do as many shoe picks as we should.
okay.
I spend more time with video. Like we were doing the style videos for a
Okay.
little bit, and like it was becoming a little bit too hard to do because we were trying to do two and three outfits and
Mm.
one shooting, but we had nowhere to change clothes. You know what I mean? So we were changing in the car, putting on the next outfit, going out there and trying to film it because we were trying to get it all done at one time.
Right. Right.
So for people that ask, is like, where those style videos? I was like, man, y'all gonna get style videos with one outfit because I'm not going back home to change.
Man, you didn't have the RV where you could run in and
No,
do the change and then come back out. What up,
nope.
Steezo? I see you out there, brother. Good to see you here.
Yeah,
That's
nah, we didn't have any of that.
I mean, I figured you had the little pop up tent or something, you know. But
Nope. All we had was that 5% tent. That's all we
uh,
had. 5% tent, change clothes in the car, get out there and do it.
no doubt, no doubt, no doubt. Yeah,
Yeah.
I even like there's been a few times when I try to go out with, you know, like multiple pairs of sneakers. Like I did a video um on the Untold Truth when I had gotten about maybe 6 or 7 of those kicks. And I wanted to do it at a baseball diamond. And I'm out and I probably had maybe between 6 and 8 pairs of kicks with me. And you know how you try to move and you know you're not trying to draw a lot of attention to yourself. It's like
Hmm.
you got I got a pair of shoes on first base and a pair of shoes at home plate, and all of that stuff. And it's like at a certain point you got to be all in and just hope that that it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we just don't do the shoe picks like we should be. And especially now that we started the brand, like it's really
Right.
not really doing the shoe picks like we should be. But uh, being creative with it is what I'm more focused on now. Like
Okay.
not necessarily just quantity of pictures that we put up. I like to post every day, but if I can't, I'd rather not just put anything up.
Got you.
So I want people to look at our page, whether it's the channel or Instagram or anywhere, like to see the progression. Like, okay, these pictures and videos got better and better as they went along.
Yes. Kali Park 81 in the building. What's good, brother? Um,
No,
for me, it was kind of the opposite. I've been doing photography since I was in high school, and at a certain point, some people know. I guess some people don't know. I'm a recording engineer, and I kind of started with a small little studio to kind of do my own stuff, and then eventually expanded into you know allowing other artists to come in and do session work as well. And people started asking me about photography, like in session photography, and then eventually it led to videos. And so that was kind of where I started kind of getting more into the video thing. And this was like even before the sneakers really lit up in my chest.
mm,
And the way that I ended up a Canon shooter was because at that time, in terms of DSLRs that also did video, Canon was kind of on the top.
King, yeah.
Yeah. And so, I'm sure you well know this. Once you kind of commit to one type of
I,
camera, you
mm,
just kind of stuck unless you really want to try to
I've
sell everything
I've
and start all
never
over again.
I've never tried Sony at all.
Okay.
I don't know what it looks like. I wouldn't know the controls or anything. I've never. Once I picked up the Canon, I just picked up the Canon. That was it. I never tried anything else. No Nikon, no GH5. I didn't try any of those other things.
Right. JD in the building. What's going on, brother? So this is a little bit different, just for those of you all who are joining. It's we talking about cameras and taking sneaker pics and videos and things of that nature. We're gonna talk about some sneakers too, but so I don't want you to think that if it's a sneaker question out there that we're just ignoring you, because we're not really doing.
Yeah.
But and again, if you want to jump in on the conversation or jump in and ask a question, uh, you can scroll up and the link is um, in the chat there, and we'll put you on as long as you
Yeah.
don't have internet like the old internet for sneaker with the foe. If you got the AOL dial up, then it may be problems. But do you prefer one over the other in terms of like video over still?
I'm more fascinated with videos than port. Like as far as pictures, I like portraits.
Okay.
Um, but as far as creating, I think videos is just more fascinating to me. How you can take so many different shots and put it into one video.
Okay.
So I'd have to say video.
Yeah. I think for me, they're equally satisfying in different ways.
Mhm.
Like, I think for me, video is definitely more challenging because it's newer to me, and it's so much. Well, I'm gonna say it was so much stuff, but there is a lot of different stuff in still photography too, because it's not, I don't only I shoot portrait, I shoot like event photography, sports photography, and all of those different types of photography are different. Like eventually, like when I got my second body, I was looking for something that had a faster shutter speed, so that
Mhm.
specifically for sports photography, so you can freeze that motion, or get multiple shots of that uh, that touchdown run, or the drive to the basket, or just whatever the case may be. But they're equally kind of challenging to and satisfying to me. Right now, video is probably more frustrating to me than anything, because oh man, I thought I spent a lot of time editing, just regular photographs, but man, editing
Video.
video, bruh,
I
you know,
used I used to spend a lot of time, but I've done so many videos up to this point
hmm
that I can go through and edit real quick on a video, especially an unboxing video where I'm not moving or anything. It's a little different from a vlog, but just sitting in the room, unboxing video, I can get that done so quick because a lot of this stuff I already have presets for. So all I got to do is just plug it in. I was just cut out the things I don't want
hmm
in the video. That's about it. Um, I you got way more equipment than I got. I got two lenses.
right,
I got two lenses, one camera. I have not ventured off into getting another body. Now I do want another camera body, but I just not right now. I want to maximize what I do have. I can show you here. Uh, so when we do our vlogs, our unboxing videos, this is why I use the Canon M50
hmm
flip out screen. Um, I did a video on this lens,
okay,
and you'd be surprised how many YouTubers have contacted me that are way bigger than me,
okay,
especially sneaker YouTubers, asking us what we use.
okay.
And I used to think like, what are you asking me for? You got hundreds of thousands of subscribers. What are you asking me for?
You should
Like,
know.
like it's not that it's not it wasn't that like they should know, but
hmm
it's just like what you're doing is working just fine.
Right,
Like
right. I got you. I
you
got
don't
you.
need what I'm
You
doing. Like
got you.
obviously I need to be DMing you. Like I don't need this.
Right.
But it was a certain look that I wanted. But a lot of other YouTubers will ask me. It was really specifically sneaker YouTubers asking me what we use.
Okay.
Uh, and I always tell them the secret is the lens.
hmm
That lens is everything.
Yep.
Like I shouldn't have this lens on this camera. Like
Nah.
I'm not supposed to have it on here. Like this camera is a simple mirrorless camera, um, but this lens costs maybe $200 or $300 more than the camera itself. Like it's I got a Viltrox speed booster on it. That was the
Oh,
only way I could get this lens on for this camera.
okay. Okay.
I looked for months to see if anybody had a video to see what it looked like. I knew what the lens would look like, but I did not know how the picture would look with the camera and the speed booster. And I
Okay.
never saw anybody do a video until I think some guy in Europe did one. He
Okay.
did one quick video and that was it. And then I was like, I'm gonna just jump out there
Oh.
and see see what
So
it looks like.
so now what's the lens?
This is the 16 to 35 f 2.8.
2.8. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but the with the Viltrox speed booster, it drops it down to 2.0.
Ah, okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay, okay. See, I learned something today. Hop
yeah.
Dog in the building, Mr. Bear 76.
Ha
What's good, family? Just chopping it up with Marcus. We talking a little cameras and some sneakers, but it's mostly gonna be like cameras that we use for sneakers or the videos that we
yeah.
do, that type of thing. So yeah, if you got a question, drop it in the um in the comments. If you want to jump on, I'll drop the link again. Uh,
Yeah, I remember you. I remember you asked me did I use a what you call it on here? Um,
oh, indie filter.
ND filter. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I got a variable ND filter on here.
Okay.
That's why it looks flat. So when we're outside, I can still film in the middle of the day. You know,
Yep.
that's like the worst time to film.
Yep.
But I got an adjustment here on the side. You can see those dots there.
Okay.
And I
Yep.
just turn this and it gets darker. Basically, just gives
So
your camera sunglasses.
yep. So you can still shoot wide open and get
Yeah,
that nice creamy background.
yeah,
Q was asking me how did my shoot go today. Actually, so Q it went it went good. One of the things I learned over the time for doing this is like, so this was like an event that a business was scheduling and they were supposed to have certain number of people to come in. It was actually the trainer that I'm working with. He wanted to do some additional video and photographs for some of his online stuff and for his website. And so it was supposed to be a certain number of people that were going to come in and they were going to do a session and we're going to do a number of different things. So what ends up happening is we were supposed to have bad weather today, and I was asking him, "Are we going to cancel? Are we going to keep going forward?" And ultimately, he's like, "No, no, we're going to go ahead and do it." But at the last minute, a lot of people started to bail out, so we didn't end up with as many people in, but we still were able to get something done. So it's kind of like, what I've learned is like even when I go out and do anything, I'm taking sneaker pictures. I'll go and I take all these pictures and I think they look a certain kind of way and I get back. As long as I got one,
hmm
it was a good day. It was good. But
yeah,
no, we got some good stuff. We got some good video. I got some good still pictures. And I'm actually earlier I was working on a little intro piece that he did that he doesn't know until I show it to him, that I'm gonna take and I'm gonna kind of cut it up and I'm gonna drop in some video and some stills that I took and kind of make it like a 60, maybe 60-second, 90-second little introductory piece. So it was some good stuff.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. What else were we talking about? Oh, people ask about the B-roll that I
all
get.
right.
Um, I only recently got a gimbal for this camera, but I used to always do a handheld, and there's so many videos on it. I usually kind of keep it close to my body, and I move my body, not my arms or my hands. That'll get you smooth B-roll all the time, and just go as slow as possible, and then like that's it. Like people think like you're using all this fancy equipment. A lot of stuff is hand, is just freehanded. So just simple stuff, man. It's
But I'll tell you, you did hit me to something that I didn't really think about. If I had a thought about it, I I maybe would have gotten to it sooner, but I didn't get to it until after you had mentioned it. We were maybe, I think, in the DMs or something, or chatting one time, and you had mentioned, man, I just go on the internet and find, on YouTube, somebody's doing it, and
Hmm.
you figure out a way. So, and I really took that to heart, because like I was trying to do some of that speed ramp, kind of where
Hmm.
you speed up and then slow down, and I figured out how, watched a couple videos and saw that, but there was one piece that I was missing, and it wasn't even until maybe a day or so ago. I use Final Cut,
Yeah, that's what I use.
and when you do the slow mo, there's another little step that you have to do in order to smooth the video out.
Hmm.
Um, and I forget what you call it, but it's in that area where you do the slow down, and basically what it does is it puts extra frames into the video, which allows it to play back smoother. And I wasn't doing that, and I was like, why? Why my slow motion doesn't look like that? And I'm people saying, because I just thought, well, maybe they were shooting at 120 instead of 60, because I only have something that goes 60 frames per
Hmm.
second. I don't have the ability to do that 120. And when I saw that, I was like, okay. And I was trying it in the edit today. It was a young lady. She was working out on a little boxing dummy. And I took a portion of that and slowed it down 50%. And then when I did that other little piece to it, it was like, it was nice and smooth.
Yeah.
I was like, yes! Yes!
Yeah.
Collie Park, is photography my side gig? So literally, um, what is that old? I can't remember which one of the shows. Somebody said, "Yo, like a Jamaican, I got 3, 4, 5, 6 jobs." Um, so between music and photography, those are my side hustles. Um, lately, probably the last maybe 3 years or so, it's been more photography than music, because I took a decision to kind of step back from some of the things that I used to front my own band. I did my own sound, I did everything, and it was just taxing me.
Mm.
So I decided that if I focused on the photography a little bit more, I would be able to kind of do better, because there's a lot of jobs that I can just do on my own.
Hmm.
And so, like, whereas if I'm going out with a 6 or 7 piece band, you know, you do the math, dividing that pie that many, as amongst that many people, as opposed to, okay, I do this one photography job, you know, I do half the number of photography jobs, and probably still make more than I was making, depending on how much in a given year I was gigging. So, um, it is one of my two side gigs, but I it's actually, I have a T-shirt I found online, um, that says something about photography being my retirement. Um, that's really what I want to do more of, because I'm probably maybe 4 to 6 years out from the time frame that I'd like to retire. I don't want to work more than another 6 years,
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna
all of
stop
us.
doing anything.
That's
Um,
all of us. I
oh
want to
yeah,
stop in 4 or 6 years too.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I'd like to be able to have built up, a strong enough photography clientele that, at that point, I can do that part time, and that's, pretty much what I need to be able to get where I get, the whatever additional things I need.
Yeah.
What is Hop talking about? I'm trying to get good
Mhm.
taking still pics. My camera does have 4K video quality though, but I haven't gotten to that point yet. Do you use much 4K, Marcus, or have you?
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
It's too big of a file.
yeah. I
Takes up too much space.
that's really my. I love the way it looks,
Hmm.
but it is just really too much storage space for your computer. And I
Maybe, I mean, you know about Final Cut. I know that takes up a lot of space on your computer. I just couldn't. I couldn't. My computer couldn't handle 4K. I was like, if I could, I'd take Final Cut off and put it on a separate,
Okay.
storage thing because it takes up way too much space.
Yeah, I have. Are you using PC or Mac?
Mac,
Okay. Are you familiar with Hackintosh?
no.
Okay. So used to be Apple had proprietary chips for processors. They had Apple based, but about maybe 5 or 6 years ago they started using Intel processors.
Hmm.
When they started using Intel processors, you could actually build a Mac,
Hmm.
and it's called the Hackintosh. And that's what I got.
Uh, I was like, nah, I know what a Macintosh is.
No,
I
no,
don't know what a
it's
Hackintosh.
basically it's just a hacked Macintosh.
You got the
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
the internals basically kind of
So it's basically you can,
jailbreak a computer.
yeah, basically you're faking the processor to faking it out to make it think that it's still in the Mac environment, but it's
Hmm.
basically like you would build a PC.
Yeah,
Um,
I got a homeboy who used to do that with phones. He used to basically just jailbreak them and they'd be like an iPhone on like an Android phone.
well, yeah.
But he
So,
used to do that all the time.
but it works. I mean, it just boots up differently, but once it comes up, it's it's
Yeah,
completely transparent.
hot
Um,
dog, hot dog. I got a iMac. It's not a new one though. I've had this one for a while. I'm not sure what year it is. I don't know what generation it is, but I know it's not a new one. But it's the 21 inch. I think it's 1 terabyte of
nice.
storage. Um, yeah, I do everything on this computer.
Uh-oh. I didn't look down. We have a guest. We have a visitor. What's going on, bro?
What's going on? Don't mind me. I'm a little tired.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I was wondering if you was gonna jump in on this or not. It's all good though. It's all good. So it's good that you, because I was actually gonna ask Marcus this question. So now that you're here, I can divulge this conversation, and you'll be right here. But we were talking about like, do you feel like it's any when you're posting up a picture on Instagram? How can you tell when the picture is going to get a good reaction, Marcus?
Yeah, I could tell. It depends on what it is. Like, uh, Kiana finally put on those union ones,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew it really didn't matter how I took that picture. It was going to get likes just because of what shoe it was, and we had already knew that. So we just like took a whole bunch of different angles of that picture. Depending on what it is, I got other pictures when I was really starting to get more into photography on the page that
Mm-hmm.
wasn't even sneaker related. I didn't know how those were going to do because we had never done anything like that before. Um, but certain pictures, is going to get people's attention. Um, it
But
all
it
depends.
but do you feel like in that case it's the shoe? It's not necessarily
Yeah, I
the
always feel
photograph.
like it's the shoe. Like I
Okay.
never, because the pictures that I really like, they don't get a lot of likes. So I think it's the shoe. I just think that's the community that follows us, or people that's more into shoes than an actual photography. So I expect it.
So we were kind of Caddy and I were talking and just more kind of like trying to find out to crack the code. Like what is it? What do you have to do to you got to make the picture spin around in the middle of the.
Yeah, is I think it's just the audience, the people that follow you. What are they
Right,
into?
right.
And most of them are really into those sneakers, man. It's not like too many. It's a lot of ways to make it creative with the sneakers, but for the most part, it's about the sneakers. You got some hype sneakers, you'll be just fine. But finding a creative way to show a Chuck Taylor, man, that's hard.
Yeah,
Not
but
everybody into those.
but it seems like Mr. Caddy, you kind of got the cheat code. So Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I
He
think he
got the caddy in the place to be, man. You know what kind of pictures I'd get if I was living there.
in New York City. Yeah, that's true. You are in an incredible environment there for sure. For me, just if I was to answer the question myself, I have no clue because the things that I think,
Hmm.
just like we were talking about, with the video, the thing that you just throw out there and you don't really give a whole bunch of thought to, ends up getting some ridiculous number of views. But the thing that you curate and you spend all this time doing, and you do the special you know effects, and you got the sound effects dropping in the swoosh and the bangs, and
Yeah.
you got the music and the pictures changing on the beat and all of that. And
Not everybody picks up on stuff like that, and I mean it because, and I guess at the same time, I like that, especially when we like do those quick videos where I have sound effects and stuff, and it's like not everybody will pick up on that, which makes me think, okay, that's a good thing that they didn't pick up on that. Like I got two or three train stations going at one time, or I got birds chirping. Like that's not a part of the video, people. Like I added that on there.
right.
Stuff like that. But it lets me know that I blended it pretty good. Some people will catch on to it that are really into videos and stuff like that. So
Q says, I get better reactions when my entire look is in the picture. I don't have many hype sneakers, so I have to recalibrate. Okay.
okay.
Yeah. If I'm gonna keep it 1,000, I kind of go through phases with pictures. It's like sometimes I feel really creative and I want to try to do something, and then another time it's just like, okay, I need to post up today. Let me just post up a picture. And it's not so much. I mean, I still try to have a certain quality to it, but
Hmm.
I'm not going. And I guess, like you said, if I was living in New York and passing certain areas, and I'm not passing no places like that, where I am, in Maryland. So I don't even, or when I do see things that inspire me, I don't have the right shoes.
Yeah, man. I end up just taking pictures of the area.
Yeah.
Like I got a lot of pictures when we went. We went to Europe last year. I took so many pictures, and I was like, I'm just sitting on them. So I just started releasing them. Just did like what I call it the lost files,
Okay.
and on our page. And I'm like, these pictures are dope. Y'all better like these pictures. And then it'd be like 15 likes, and I'm like, what the heck? These are really good pictures, and I don't know if people don't. I'm pretty sure people that follow us know that I took those pictures. Maybe people not outside of it don't know that I was taking these pictures. I was like, these are. I really thought they were good pictures, but it's just the audience.
Right.
The people that's following you.
Gotcha. So you back, Caddy, right?
I had to switch to the computer for a minute.
Okay, yeah, no problem. I was gonna ask. I was gonna say it sound like, or it looks like, I should say, you found a cheat code. So, what did you change? What special sauce did you put in the camera? Please tell us. We would like to know.
Um,
Started using New York more. That's what you started using.
yes. That is absolutely what I started doing. It started with a conversation that I had with KB Fresh Kicks and with Hop Dog 18. We were in DC, and I was having a conversation about Instagram and Instagram photos, and I was like, I'm trying to take good photos, and what am I missing?
Mm-hmm.
And KB, I said, KB, I need your honest opinion. I need you to let me know, what am I doing wrong? And he said to me, nothing. He said, you're not doing anything wrong. He said, the thing about it is, he said, you live in New York City. He's like, show more of that. People want to see that because you live in one of the biggest cities in the world. He said, use what you have around you to your advantage. He's like, for example, you have a train system. He said, we don't have a train system in Charlotte or in Virginia, in Southern Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, He was like, you were taking pictures like that and you went away from it.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of pages with just New York, dude. I'm like, dude, you don't even have to have shoes in your picture. You can just be taking pictures of anything out there, and it looks dope.
Yeah, and that was the thing I started to realize. Like, there's so many areas you can take pictures at and do something different with, or add it to your pictures. Backgrounds or parks or graffiti or just any and everything out here. And I really wasn't using it to my advantage. Like the subway system. Like, I took like 1 or 2 pictures on the subway, and then I went away from it. And then it was like, use that to your advantage. That could be perfect background. So I started doing something a little different. Like, for example, we were talking last night about the picture I took on the subway in the middle of the people.
Mm-hmm.
That was just like, I'm gonna do it, and I'll see what happens. Now, mind you, I wasn't 100% comfortable doing it because people stare at you. They wondering why you're so close to them, and what is he doing? It just looks awkward. Is he taking a picture of me? And sometimes I gotta let them know, like, hey, listen, I'm not trying to take a picture of you. Just get my shoes. I got a Instagram where I do sneaker photography on. So that's all I'm doing. And some of them be interested. They be like, oh, that's what's up. What's your Instagram? Some of them be like, I don't care.
Right. Q says, I'm in Chicago, plenty of places to shoot, but I only venture out when I'm accompanied with someone due to being a woman and all. Hey, no question. I think Hop already said it. You got to be safe. Shared the same thing. And I mean, male or female, I feel like sometimes you do have to keep your head on a swivel when you're doing those things. That's why I asked you the question about taking that picture in the subway, because I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if I would do that. And the subway in Maryland is nothing like the subway in New York. But I kudos to you, bro, because I don't know that I would put my junk down on the floor and in the middle of a crowded train, or somewhat crowded. Now if it was empty and it's just me, I'm gonna stun all day because I'm in the empty train.
But I mean, I try to take advantage of, like, being that I work for MTA. I know that this places where the trains terminate and they sit for a certain amount of minutes.
Okay.
I work with the schedule, so I can say, okay, I got 6 minutes to go on here and get these shots in before this train takes off.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to take advantage of that sometimes. I kind of pay attention to when the train is not going to have a lot of people, compared to when the train is going to be packed with people. And I've tried that before. I've tried to take a picture of my shoes and try to lock it in between a crowded people. And the thing about it is that's the scariest for me, because New York is the type of place where sometimes people will see something and try to pick it up.
Yeah.
So, like, I've had it where I've put my camera down in the corner to take a picture of my shoes, and somebody went to go reach for it. And I had to let them know, no, that's mine.
Right.
And the one guy was like, why you got your camera away? Because I'm taking a picture.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, though, why you got it all the way over here? Because I'm taking a picture. Why you don't touch my camera? Well, you shouldn't have it that far away from you. And it's like, bruh.
He trying to tell you making him itchy. He want to go with your stuff.
Yeah, he trying to be out with my stuff.
Right.
But I just feel like once I started shooting more of New York. And then there's a lot of people online, like, for example, like Marcus. Like when I look at Marcus' videos and his photos, I was just like, damn, I need to get like that. I looked at KB's photos, I need to get like that. Dominican Koki, I got to get better. You know, when OG, when I first started getting into photography, you were my go-to guy. Like I was hitting OG up like, hey, how you doing? What kind of camera can I use? And what kind of lens? And where can I buy this? And where can I buy that? And he got tired of me like, okay, just call me. And he's like, here's the number. Damn, here. So, we had that convo and he explained everything to me and I had to learn how the camera worked and everything like that. And, it just went from there. And I appreciate it because I knew nothing about a camera.
Yeah, but it was clear you had the interest and the passion. And I mean, now, looking at what you're doing, that,
whole another level now.
Exactly. Like he don't call me and ask me nothing no more.
I still ask you questions from time to time. I'll be like, hey, just wondering, when I shoot this way, how come this happens? And OG will break it down to me like, hey, try this, change this, don't do this, and see what happens. And a lot of it comes with just playing around with your camera.
Yeah.
Just learning your camera and learning what you can do and what you can't do.
Yeah. I think if you watch any like YouTubers that do photography, the main thing they will all say is take your camera off of that program mode, the P mode, and go to manual and learn how to use it and make the mistakes, learn, and learn it in your own language. Because sometimes, people, it's, oh, well, I don't know if it's the f-stop or the aperture. Look, just know that when you turn these numbers, this happens. And when you turn those numbers, the camera responds in a certain way. And that's when you'll start to get the life, out of your cameras. It's like you trying to do it on automatic, the camera is making all the decisions for you.
Yeah. We did some pictures when we started getting more into photography. I wanted to get into night photography, but I was trying to do automatic. I normally do manual, but I was like, it's nighttime. I really don't want to mess this up. Let me go automatic. And I've never posted any of those pictures. Like it was horrible. Like it was so grainy because when you put it on automatic for night photography, it bumps your ISO so high that it gives you this grainy looking picture. I was like, I didn't want a standard depth picture. Like I was trying to still get HD picture. He gave me some old 1970s looking grain on here, and I'm like, never again. So manual the whole way.
Yeah, that's because when you go in program mode, the camera is making every decision for you based on the light, and it makes the decision whether it's going to bump the ISO, or what it's going to do to try to get what it believes is a proper exposure. And sometimes literally what you want is not necessarily a proper exposure.
Yeah.
Like if you want to take a picture like for night photography and maybe you want to get it when a particular light is flashing and so it's only going to maybe show, exposure on one side of the person's face or something like that. That's an artistic choice that you're making, but the camera is going to fight you. It's not going to give you that because it's going to say, I need to see the whole face. I don't want to just see part of it. So, yeah, man, get off that program button and just put the camera on M and let it rip. You'll. I mean, it's a whole lot easier now with digital than it was when you were doing film, because you don't want to have your hurt feelings. You take a whole set of photographs and then go take the film to get developed and you got Nathan. Nothing at all, or underexposed or overexposed. And that was kind of, why you had to learn that stuff, to be able to say, okay, if I do this and I do that, and I got my little light meter, I should be, I should be in the house someplace.
Yeah.
But now you get to see it, and if it's not right, you just hit the trash button. All right, what's going on, brother?
What's good, yeah?
Hey, what up?
Chilling,
Good,
man.
bro.
Chilling, man. Trying to get these kids to sleep, man.
Man,
Chilling. Y'all good?
I remember those days, brother. I used to have to threaten to knock mine out,
Man,
or when they were
I'm
real,
in that phase.
or when they were real little. And I'm not telling no tales out of school because my wife would tell them too. Hey, give them a little bit of that NyQuil or something
Yeah.
watered. Give some of that children,
Benadryl.
Benadryl, some children Tylenol, something to
Right.
just give you a little something. Hey, sometimes you gotta do
Man.
what you gotta do.
Hey, I hear you, man. I appreciate y'all letting me on, though, man.
Nah, man, I appreciate you, coming on through. We just, we're talking about just any number of different topics, but
Right.
I had asked Marcus, like, one of the things when I look at your YouTube page that I really think is dope, and that stands out from a lot of people that I look at is like your thumbnails. When I see your thumbnails for your videos, it makes me want to look at your video just because the photo is so engaging, or kind of what you're doing in the picture. I see you hop, and just, was that something that you just automatically thought to do, or kind of how did you develop that?
Man, you know what? I look at other people's thumbnails, and I try to figure out, how can I try to make it my own. Even Marcus, man. I mean, his thumbnails be so good. But I mean, I was listening to y'all earlier when y'all was talking about all of the photos and all of that type of stuff, man. I really don't do all of that type of stuff, man.
Right.
And y'all do a lot more than what I'm used to. Honestly, when I get a thumbnail, I'm really trying to focus on trying to keep my mouth shut, because I know so many people do that for their thumbnails with their mouth open. And I'm really trying to focus on just keeping my mouth shut, honestly. So that's what I'm trying to focus on, man. But I mean, because honestly, everybody's thumbnails are so creative to me, and it makes me want to watch. And so I'm just trying to get there. I don't think I'm there yet, but I'm trying to do what I can on it, though.
Well, you all have to tell me, between you and Marcus, you're the only sneaker people that I've seen do this. Now, it doesn't mean that anyone hasn't done it, but like the putting the shoes or the hands or whatever through the screen.
I haven't done it.
Come on.
Trey D did it. I had the idea because I don't know if I sent it to him or
think
he
you
sent it to me. And you was
Yeah.
like, dude, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
It was a tutorial. Like, we was like, dude, it's on YouTube. All this stuff
Yeah.
that we've done, people have already done it. We just did it to sneakers. That was it.
That's all
And I
it
saw
was,
when Trey
man.
did that, because we both was talking about changing our intros.
Mm-hmm.
And then we talked, and he saw that video, and he was like, I'm gonna do that. And as soon as I saw Trey D do it, I was like, well, I'm gonna just leave ours the same. I'm not about to change nothing, but I can't come after that.
Nah, man. It was, and you know what Marcus had sent me, because I think we send each other. Well, we used to send each other those videos back and forth, because they're just tutorials on how to do stuff in Final Cut Pro. And he sent me that. I think he sent me that, and it was just I forget that guy's name. I think it's like Brian something.
Brian Francisco.
Yeah, all he did was a pop-out tutorial, and he did it with a sheet of paper. And I was like, hey, if he can do it with a sheet of paper, I should be able to do it with a shoe.
Right.
And so, man, I think I spent like about 2 to 3 hours trying to do like all of that, edit it and do the video all at the same time. And man, for like, 10 seconds of an intro.
10-second intro.
Yeah, man. I mean, it takes some time, man. But once it comes out like you like it, it definitely shows and it pays off, man. So, but now I got to think of another intro, man, because I'm like, dang, people have already seen this so much. So now I got to try to figure out something else to do.
But it's
You gotta
dope,
add
man.
something
It
else to it.
Yeah,
it is so dope. The homie Hop Dog 18 has
What's
joined
good,
the
man?
panel. What's going
What's
on,
going on?
brother?
How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Chilling, chilling.
Good. So,
Good.
like, what has the journey for photography been for you, like Hop, since you mentioned that you moved up from the phone and now you got the camera and you're going out and shooting the pigeons in the background with the pigeons on your feet and all of that. But do you feel like it expanded kind of your view or?
Yeah. I've always kind of like been interested in photography, to be honest with you. I had got my son a camera. We got my son a camera for like a graduation gift a couple years ago. And I've always wanted a camera myself.
Mhm.
And when I really started getting on IG, really, I mean, I've always been a shoe guy. I've been collecting shoes for the longest, but where I worked at, social media was like a no-no. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of kept me away from social media, posting a lot of stuff, things like that. And when I really started taking pictures, I just first started out with my phone. Then I got me a little tripod for my phone because I got tired of putting stuff, leaning my phone up against stuff. I would get a
Yep.
brick, maybe lean my phone up against it, and all that stuff, and using my Apple Watch to take pictures, or trying to put the 5-10 second camera delay on pictures, trying to get the pose right with all that time, going
Right.
through all that different stuff. I mean, I'm not a video guy, but what really kind of made me go ahead and get a camera, and I've probably had my camera, maybe a year now.
Okay.
A year, less than a year, and I went through some options, and I like the camera I bought. I bought a Sony A64 mirrorless camera, and really just started watching YouTube videos. I would hit OG up, also Caddy up. It'd be like, I even I think Marcus was on the live. I asked him what kind of camera he used, and I think I asked him what he thought about the camera, and then OG was kind of like, OG and Caddy, they pretty much kind of like solidified my choice. They was like, well, it's got a lot of good reviews on it. It's just if you really want to spend that much money on that camera. But if I'm gonna go ahead and invest, I'm gonna invest in something that I want, something that I know I'm gonna use.
Yeah.
And so for me, I started out like with the auto thing also, but then I started looking at YouTube videos and I started fooling with the aperture, with the ISO. The camera that I got is almost self-explanatory. It's pretty easy to use. It's just finding the right background, getting the right lens, because the lens that I bought with the camera, they was telling me you need to get the other lens, which is the, I guess, which one is the best with the best aperture? Let me see. The 1.8/50. That's the lens that I ended up buying after the stock lens, which this lens is the 3.5-56/18-135. It's a little bit longer lens.
Yeah, it's a sliding depending on
zoom lens.
where you are. It'll slide between 3.5 and 5.6. Yeah.
So those are the only two lenses that I have, and I really wanted to hop on here and see what kind of other lenses that you guys suggest. But all in all, I don't want to toot my own horn. And sometimes when I feel like that I've killed a picture, you know what I'm saying? I felt like I put a dope pick up. It doesn't get the response that I think that I should have gotten.
Oh, that's big facts.
But, yeah. but then when I take a quick picture and I'll be like, that picture's all right, but I'm gonna throw it up on here anyway.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, it's blowing up. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I think there is no rhyme or reason. What's up to GTC Reels and IBA in the building? Appreciate y'all coming through. I think all of us has probably had that same experience, either between pictures and or videos or both. It's just no rhyme or reason. I have But I will tell anybody that's watching or listening, if you call me and ask me if you should buy something, I'm probably the wrong person to buy. I'm 4 bodies. I'm 4 bodies in, and probably 8 lenses. Really, probably more than that because I have some bodies that use that I have adapters for, so that I can use like the F mount, or I can use a regular Canon EF. So yeah, if you don't want to have to get the answer that caused you to spend money, don't call me. But at the same time, going back to my conversation with Hop, if I remember correctly, and what I try to tell everybody is, like, it doesn't matter what kind of camera you buy. Like, Nikon is not better than Canon, is not better than Sony. Is really what you feel comfortable with using. And
How well you learn it.
Yeah, I had contemplated actually getting a Sony body, because a lot of people are using that Sony combination with Canon glass for video. And I've seen a lot of great stuff. But then when Canon came with the mirrorless, the big mirrorless, I was like, okay, now
Bro, I'm on the wrong live right now, man. Because if it ain't the kit lens, I'm not buying it.
No, but hey,
that's kind of like how I am, bro. Because
Yeah,
I mean, I got the first kit lens, and I think actually the other lens that I bought, I think it's a kit lens also. I just bought it separate, which I probably should have got that lens first. You know what I mean? I went with the I guess the stronger lens, thinking that I probably, because I guess with that body and with that lens, it was a better deal. And then going back getting a smaller lens, I just felt like that was a better deal. Getting that longer lens first.
Right.
And so that's the reason why I did that. But in hindsight, I probably should have just went ahead with the second lens I bought, because you could have got either or with the camera that I got. So I haven't gotten into the lenses thing yet. I've looked at some lenses and I'm like, God dang, they cost more than what I paid for the camera.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. And I'm like, shoot. I'm like,
yeah. Dang. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I had this conversation with OG when I was first looking for a camera, and I asked him, what's a good camera to buy? He said, I'm not gonna tell you what camera to buy, but what I will tell you where to go. So he told me about a couple of stores, and there was one store here called Adorama, and I looked for a camera, and they had a Nikon D5300. And I was comfortable with Nikon because my cousin has a Nikon, and that was the first camera I had ever shot with. So I was like, okay. So, he had I believe he has a 3300, and I was like, okay, I'm comfortable with this. You know what? I'll get the newer version of that, which was the 5300. So I went and got it refurbished because I didn't want to spend a lot of money. I think I paid like $400 for it. It came with a kit lens, and then I went on Amazon and found a 35 millimeter. I believe it was a 1.8. And it was like $150. And then I found a 50 millimeter 1.8. That one was like $160 or $170 on Amazon. Next thing I know, I had like a whole little kit that I was working with. And I just went from there. And like y'all said, I started shooting in auto off the rip. And I was like, oh, okay. And then you start using auto. And then, like Marcus said, you go to shoot nighttime shots. And the nighttime shots were looking like shit.
Yeah.
I was like, every nighttime shot I was shooting looked either grainy, or I would be in a place where there was no lighting, and it would be like the camera would tell me it's too dark to shoot, so it wouldn't even take the picture. So it was just like, oh my God, how am I going to get this to work? And then I started watching YouTube videos. And I'm telling you, start watching YouTube videos and IG and seeing people taking night shots and stuff like that. It inspired me. Like, I would look at people's pictures and be like, damn, that picture's so clear. Like
Dominican Coquille for one.
Bruh.
His night shots are off the chain.
Yeah. And like his night shots off the chain. KB used to kill me because his pictures were so clear, almost like you could just grab to shoot through the screen. And that excited me because it was like, okay, the possibilities are endless. It's just about learning the camera.
Yeah.
But there's other lenses out there I want, but I just don't want to spend the money on it right now. I'm like, bro, like there's some 1.4 lenses out there that I'm like, oh yeah, I want to get that. Oh, I don't think I want to take it. So
yeah, but
right.
I mean, for me, a lot of the stuff that I have is because I'm coming into doing YouTube and sneaker photography from already doing regular photography. So like, the camera body that as I was talking with Marcus earlier, the camera body that I need to do sports is not the same body that I need for portraits. The lenses that I need for sports, like especially if I'm doing football, are not the same lenses that I need to do, family portraits or to do, event photography, concert photography, things of that nature. So it's like filling in those different, as I started to do different work, but I also use a lot of, and I recommend it highly, lens rentals, and there's a couple other different places where you can test out lenses. You can order a $3,000 lens and have it for a week, and it costs you maybe $120.
I'd be scared to have that in my possession.
Yeah, man.
But you pay that. There's like an extra fee that you can pay for insurance while you have it, and then it's not it's not an issue. But I've used it a lot over the years, just to like if I'm thinking about getting something and I'm not sure, some people might say, oh well, why do you rent it? But I mean, if you rent it and then you decide, hey, this is not even something that I want to use, you've kind of saved yourself from, having to go through that process. And the other way around, if you rent it and find, oh man, this is exactly, what I needed or what I was looking for, then you've kind of given yourself that confirmation, to try it before you buy it, if you will. So
we got a camera shop around here where I'm at, and they sell like used lens and stuff like that. So I might have to go in there and just talk to them and see what kind of stuff they would do. It's a lady that I talked to when I was getting my camera. She seemed real nice, and every time I go in there, she's always able to give advice and stuff like that. So they seem like some real good people to talk to, and I might go in there and see what they're talking about as far as like if they got anything to rent. Just seeing what lenses are the best and stuff like that. So another question I wanted to ask y'all, like, I started out in auto mode, but now I mainly shoot in aperture mode. And the other day I started trying to play with the shutter speed, because I wanted to take a shot with the lights like going through, kind of like how Caddy did at one time. So I think that's gonna be my next mission, is to fool with that shutter speed, get me a decent night shot. I don't really shoot at night in auto mode, because like y'all said, the picture's too grainy, but it seemed like aperture does pretty good at night. I still got to perfect my night shooting.
Yeah, just throw it in manual, in all honesty. Like you can watch videos on how to shoot, get light trails and do night shots. And that's what I learned from. I've learned from watching how to do I wanted to take light trail photos, because like by my job, there's a lot of overpasses where you can see the cars going under the overpass, and you get those nice light trails that you see in like photos for like Los Angeles and New York on the highway and stuff like that. So I wanted to learn how to do it, and I watched the video on it, learned where to put my aperture at and where to my shutter speed, because it's mainly about the shutter speed. And then
it got to be super slow.
Yeah,
it's got to be super slow, and the slower you make it, the longer the light trail will be. But the one thing you have to remember: if you're trying to put your shoe in there, don't move.
Move.
You gotta be standing still. And from what I've heard, you gotta have it on. You need to have it on a tripod.
Yes.
Or the camera has to be
it's not gonna look right.
Totally still. Because I tried one the other day, and it was kind of like, I guess you could say at dawn, and a lot of people was turning the lights on in the cars. But I didn't like the aperture. I just did it straight because on my camera, when you put it on the shutter speed, depending on how slow it is, it automatically adjusts the aperture. I haven't even tried anything in manual yet. I haven't gotten that deep.
So what I would recommend exactly what Caddy said. Just go to manual, because when you use one of those priority modes, you're telling the camera is still making the decision for you,
right?
Based on, and in order to get the light trails, a slow shutter speed, like something below 1/60. Depending on how you
I go even slower than that.
Yeah, I see.
I'll do it.
Yeah. Well below, but I'm just giving that as a mark number. Again, the slower that you go, the longer the trails are.
I think I had mine at like 3 seconds, maybe.
Yeah. I do mine about 3-4 seconds.
Yeah.
But it has to either be sitting someplace stable or on a tripod, because any movement is going to
blur the hell out of your photo.
It's not gonna be. What I want to do actually is the opposite, where just the people are blurring and you're just standing there in the middle as
you could just see people walking by and it's just you in the middle.
Yes. Yeah.
See, I don't know if y'all could see. That's the one I tried to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see the light.
See the trail.
Yeah. That's good.
But I just didn't like the aperture in the back. You know what I mean? I didn't care for the aperture. But I got the light trail kind of like what I wanted.
But
you wanted it more bokeh out. You wanted it more of like blurry background.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing too.
Yeah.
To get the light trail, you got to drop that aperture down.
Yeah, you're gonna be wide open.
Yeah.
But
if you leave it up,
I had it just on shutter speed, and it was choosing my aperture for me.
So that's why you have to go manual, because if you have it on manual, let's say you decide to do 3 seconds, right? And you try to leave the aperture at 1.8, all you're gonna get is white. All you're gonna get is white. So you gotta drop that aperture down to like 16 or something like that. Yeah. And then you're probably, playing with the aperture, you'll probably get a good photo. You might have to raise your ISO up maybe a little bit. That's up to you depending on where you put your aperture at. But you're gonna have to drop it down. If you try to get that blurry background and try to get that light trail, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I got
you. Yeah. But yeah, man, I only shoot with two lenses. The one I showed y'all earlier, 1635. I found this on eBay. I told OG and Trey this before. I put a bid in for this on eBay, and I just waited. I knew this is the lens I wanted, and I was just waiting for somebody that was desperate enough to drop that price down. Because brand new, these jokers is over $1,000, and this is like the second generation just for the lens. So I waited for somebody. I got it for $600 when they finally dropped the price. And the other one I use is the what they call the Nifty 50. It's just a 50 millimeter lens. And every picture and video videos I use this lens, and some pictures, but any kind of portrait up close, I use 50 millimeter. That's it. Like, I don't try to get, it's stuff I want, but I can make do with what I got, because I'm not. But you get caught up in those cameras. It's almost like tattoos, man. Once you get one, you like, let me go get some more.
I go get another one. Yeah, man.
You hit it right on the head.
So when are we gonna see some more videos, Mr. Jackson?
Uh,
Oh yeah,
I-
you.
are you
Yeah,
talking
you
about
told
him?
Mark.
Oh,
I'm
my
sorry,
bad.
Both of
I
y'all.
can't. Caddy. I'm sorry. I have to be. I forgot.
That's my distant cousin.
Yeah. Yes.
From me, you'll see some more videos soon. I was trying to wait. Like I have some ideas for some pictures and videos because here is Chinese and Lunar New Year's coming up,
Mhm.
and I just got those LeBron 7 Chinas.
Oh,
So I'm trying
China
to,
Moon.
yeah, the China Moon
Yeah.
joints. I want to take a picture of those sevens in the middle of the Chinese New Year parade. I don't know how I'm gonna
That'll
pull
be
it
dope.
off. But
you get out of the street. You in the way. No, you moving. You not supposed to be here.
is I got to see how it's gonna work because like New York is the most nosiest city in the world, man.
I
Like
thought it was the opposite.
no, see, like there's people that don't get me wrong, there's people that don't care, but when people see something that intrigues them in New York, they will get all up in your face. They will get all up in the camera. They will, like, I had a pair of LeBrons on and I wanted to take this dope picture inside. I was in Chinatown and I wanted to take this dope picture inside this Chinese market because they had like it was a pair of LeBron 8 blackouts. And I wanted to take this picture in this Chinese market because it was all these colors and everything, and the only thing that was muted was my shoes. So they had like these baskets, and they had the crabs climbing out the basket, and different like products in the background, like rice bags and all this other stuff. And I was like, yo, this would be so dope. So I'm standing there in the middle of it. I set my camera up and I'm looking at it on my phone with the remote and everything. And I'm getting ready to take the shot. And then I see this lady staring dead in my face, like, oh, and I'm like, and she speaks no English. So I'm like,
man.
I'm like, how you doing? And she just looking at me like, oh. And I'm like, yo, this lady's not moving, and she's dead in the shot. So I'm like, I'm trying to take a sneaker picture, and she's just still looking at me like, and she looks down and looks at me again, like, kind of like, what are you doing? And I'm like, okay, this lady's not gonna move. And I think her granddaughter came over, and I'm like, let her know I'm trying to take a sneaker picture. I'm not trying to steal nothing from her store. And she tries to tell her, I guess in Mandarin, like, you know, he's taking a sneaker picture. Grandma was not having it. Grandma was like, no, like, black boy, you got the ball.
Hurry up and buy.
you still crab. We know you like crab leg. No. So,
GTC Real says, get out of the way. And us Chinese are nosy too, especially in New York City. So,
Oh, man.
and that's the thing. Like, I love Chinatown. Like, when y'all come to New York City, I won't say if, I'll say when, because I think everybody should come to New York City and chill at least a weekend. There in Chinatown, there are so many dope things in Chinatown that you could shoot in photos and stuff like that. Like, you could have a field day all day in Chinatown. And like I went down there a couple of weeks ago. The only reason why I haven't shot down there yet is because it's cold here. And I ain't trying to be outside, set this camera up. Like, okay, let me stand here and pose. My hand is freezing. I'm not pressing this button because I can't feel my fingers. Nah. So I want to wait. Hopefully it gets a little warmer when the parade comes around. But there's so many dope places to shoot in Chinatown, in New York in general, but just Chinatown with all the colors and the signs and the different stores. It's just like you can get so many dope photos and videos in here. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah, you are on the photography playground for sure, man.
I'm trying to use it slowly but surely.
You got to go to a rooftop, man.
Yeah, that's next, but I'm scared of heights. Especially, I've thought about doing the helicopter ride with the feet hanging out. I want to do that so bad, but I would be the type that would pass out and the camera would fall out my hand. They'd be like, "Yo, okay, what happened?" No, it can't. Camera's somewhere in the East River. I'm sorry.
Right. So Trey, I noticed like
Yeah.
you do a lot of videos in your ride, man. Is that out of convenience, or is that kind of just become a place where that's kind of part of your your atmosphere, so to speak?
No, well, yeah. Atmosphere is right, man. Because if I don't do it there and I wait till I get here, the kids are up, and yeah, and so it's too much noise and all of that type of stuff, and so it's too much going on, man. So I'll do it in the vehicle real quick, and then if I'm gonna keep the shoe, if I know I'm gonna keep the shoe, I'll come back and I'll do it on foot or whatever. But for the most part, I'll do it in the car. But I'm trying to get away from that too, because it gets repetitive type thing, and so I'm gonna try to get away from it. But right now, man, because and a lot of people don't know me, me and the family, we're in between houses because we sold our house.
Oh wow!
And so yeah, so we're about to start looking for another house because we were trying to figure out if we wanted to build or just get an existing home, and so I didn't want to go through the build process again. So I think we're just gonna go ahead and get an existing home. So, but that's the main reason I do it, man, is because of the kids. And so, and then I'm that type of person that even when I was doing videos at the house, like I don't show you too much of my house. I don't show you my address. I don't show you outside of my house and stuff like that, man. 'Cause I think, what was it? Mike Rich I remember when Mike Rich got somebody broke into his crib. I was like, okay, yep, that's enough for me. So nobody will ever know where I live. I mean, unless you I'm like Marcus or something like that, man. I mean, he'd be in Texas and stuff like that. But otherwise, no, people don't really know. So I just keep it that way. But yeah, you're right, man. It's for the kids, and I see what you was hitting at. It's because of the kids.
Yeah, no, I
Yo, Mike Rich, when he got broken into, he made me get a PO box. That was the reason why I got a PO box.
Yeah,
I just did not want nobody to know where we lived. Yeah, and it wasn't necessarily for our safety; it was more for theirs. Whoever was breaking in, I'm serious, man.
Two to the chest, one to the head.
But Trey D could attest to that. I mean, we from Texas, man. We all carry, man.
Right.
Like I don't want to be responsible for somebody like that. Like the last thing I want to do is shoot somebody.
I feel you.
So because I could care less about the material stuff, man. That's somebody's life. But I gotta protect the house, man. So break in, you'll catch some bullets, man.
Oh yeah.
This is the way it's gonna happen.
Shout out to Rep Milwaukee 414 running through here, and we're like over an hour in, and good conversation. Don't forget to hit that like button and do all the stuff that y'all know that you're supposed to do. We veterans at this, so But I know we do need to remind you. So please, if you're not subscribed, all these brothers here are doing some dope stuff. So if you're not following them, you should be following them. Hop Dog also is one half of the Retro Talk Forum family, him and Black Ass African. So make sure that you check them out. If you living under a rock, then you haven't seen Soulmates or Trey D Kicks. So make sure that you sub up on those folks and handle your business. But what I know we talked like a lot about gear, and lenses and different things like that. But what's something like each of you, anybody can grab this question and we just kind of go around, something that you like, maybe an idea that you're working on or something that you want to do either with photography or video. Maybe if you can share some of the idea without having to give it away, so that it's something that you're looking forward to being able to do or something that you're trying to work on. Anybody?
Mine is easy. Mine is none.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know half, like all of this stuff y'all been talking about. I don't know half of the stuff that y'all talking about, man. Like I said, hey, if it's not the kit lens, I'm not using it, man.
I guess for me, like as far as videos, like I would like to. The artist in me wants to be more in depth with the process of editing, but once you go through the process of doing so much editing and then you realize that's not what's getting the views, and it's like the stuff that you just go through quick and throw it up there, that's the one that gets the views. It kind of stunts that growth that you want to learn some more. I would like to do more masking transitions. So if you ever seen a video where where the camera passes an object and it transitions into a totally different scene because it just passed like a wall or something, and then it just something totally different, or somebody walked through a door and they're somewhere else. Like if you ever, I did that one video, but I wanted to do that more. So like I'll try to do it again, but like that's something that I really like doing. I love seeing those masking transitions. I told Trey I just learned the speed ramp transition and stuff. I started learning how to do that, so I don't want to overuse the same transition. So just to get better there, I just don't feel like I maximize Final Cut Pro. Like I feel like I'm just tip of the iceberg on it. Like it's so much stuff you can do to it. So.
Right.
What about you, Hop?
Man, I'm just trying to get better at this photography thing, man. I just don't want to get stagnant and stay in one place. Okay. You know what I mean? So I guess my next thing, just really just diving into it and start digging a little bit deeper, messing around, like I said, messing around with the manual mode. I have yet to really do anything video wise. I have no clue. Just like you say, Trey D, about how we was talking about the aperture and shutter speed. I have no clue about editing, doing videos, or anything of that nature. And who knows if I would try to do something like that. I don't even know. I will say this. I do see OG and the Soulmates. They throw out videos like it ain't nothing. You know what I mean? I'm like, OG will say, he'll put something up cooking in the lab, and then an hour later he's got a video up, and I'm like, dang.
But what you don't know, Hop, is I've been working on that video for 2 hours before I put that up, and when it's cooking, it's literally rendering on the computer. So it doesn't happen that fast. I never even thought about that. It might imply that, but no, sometimes it might have been a couple of days that I've edited on a video.
So is that the longest part? Is it rendering on the rendering on YouTube, getting ready, or is the hardest part clipping, picking out what you want to show, doing stuff like that? What's the hardest part for y'all when it comes to doing those videos?
I honestly, I would say it's probably the editing part, like clipping out what you don't want. Stuff that you do want, but I think as you get better and better at it, then you start noticing what you can look for. You'll know what you want to look for. Because at the beginning, man, when I started doing YouTube, like if I messed up on something, like if I mess up on something I'm saying, I'll start the whole video over. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, man, why am I doing this when I could just edit that part out?
You're trying to be Jay-Z.
Keep going. Yeah.
One take, Jake.
I'm trying to one take the thing, and I didn't realize it. But once you start doing it more and more, you start getting better and better at the editing, and you know what you're looking for. You know what to cut out.
Yeah.
I know I say "so" a lot in my videos, and so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to cut all the "so's" out. And
I tend to do that when I'm talking like
exactly. But if you notice people who have been doing it for a long time, I like to use like Kais. Kais is really good at his videos. I mean, like I stopped watching a lot of videos for what people are actually bringing in their content, and start looking at how they shoot their videos and their video quality. what type of
production.
transitions that the production. I started looking at that rather than what they're actually showing the shoe and all of that type of stuff, because everybody's going to show a shoe.
Yeah.
So you look at other stuff, but as you keep doing it, you get a lot better at
repetition.
So,
Repetition is the main thing.
That's all it is.
Yeah, I would say I would agree for video. It absolutely is the editing is the longest thing. And like my thing is I try to kill it, but it'll creep in there. Sometimes I'll let them ride. Sometimes I'll cut them out.
Yeah.
But not only doing that, but also just how do you transition? Do you just want to make a hard cut, from one thing to the next? Do you want to use some type of fade, or do you want to use a drop in, or any of a number, 100 of different transitions that would be available to you? But then also, I don't want to try to use too much. Like, just have it so oversaturated that you can't even go, well, that was really dope. Or I like the things that are more subtle, but when I add music to something, that's when I want to try to do the more creative things and, things of that nature. But I also try to, what I hope comes across in the videos that I do on YouTube is I kind of try to edit like my personality is. It's kind of quirky. And so, sometimes I'll use like a little, sound effect to accentuate something, or I find that I like to break, like in television, it used to be this rule that you don't break the third wall, which was like literally look directly into the camera. There was a time when they never did that in television, and when people started to do it, it became kind of like a technique. Fresh Prince used to do it a lot, where they would do something and then he would kind of mug the camera. Well, there was a time in video you just didn't do that. That was like they would be like cut, you don't, the camera is basically not supposed to be there, and when you look into it, you're emphasizing that it's there. And that's just something that I kind of do. So I kind of try to edit in that same. I find that I edit in that same way. But I'm not gonna lie, I steal a lot of stuff from Marcus. I watch his videos like, oh, I gotta figure out how to do that. Or and another thing I got from him, I watch just people who do dope content and try to take some of those things that they may be talking about, other technology or things of that nature, and then try to incorporate different things that I've seen in that. But Caddy, we didn't get a chance for you to answer the question about if it's something that you want to do or you planning to do with your videos or with your photography.
Photography it's really just getting better. I feel like I've gotten better since I first started, but I feel like I can get much more better. Learning more about my camera, learning what type of photos learning how I want my photos to come out. Let me say it that way. Because sometimes I'll have an idea in my head and I'll see it. I can see what I want this photo to look like and can't execute it the way I want to execute it. And it'll piss me off because I'll end up taking a photo. There's so many photos I've put on IG that I look at and I was like, that's not what I wanted to do. I do this was the idea I had in my head. This is how I wanted it to come out. And then when I can't execute it, it just like it disappoints me sometimes. And then like the people will be like, oh yeah, it's a dope photo. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, but if you'd have known what I was originally planning to do, that photo would have been fire. So that's that. Video wise is, I guess, being more determined to do videos. Like editing is my kryptonite. I hate editing. I hate sitting in front of the computer and like I can shoot the video, sit in front of the camera, be comfortable in front of the camera now, talk about the shoe, give my insight, do the BRoll with the on foot and everything like that. The minute I put all that on the computer and it's time to edit, I'm like, it's like I don't.
You gotta get through that.
Yeah,
you gotta get through that, man. Like it gets easier. It gets easier.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the part for me that's tough. But like I've had this video, and I'll say it here because anybody can do it. I feel like there are, there's a lot of big guys out here in the sneaker community that want to dress like average size dudes. And what I mean by that is you see a lot of guys like, for example, Marcus always has on nice joggers with his Chucks and his Vans and stuff like that. And I was like, damn, I need some joggers like that. I need joggers to go with my kicks like that. But the thing is, there's other guys who don't know where to find them and how they're going to look beforehand and stuff like that. So I was going to put a video together of, like 3 or 4 brands that make joggers for big guys and do some on foots with sneakers and stuff like that. And I started shooting the videos back in November, and I started doing the on foots back in November, and I had picked like 3 or 4 brands, and I did one, then I did the other, and then I did the third one. And then now after a while, I'm sitting there thinking like, damn, I got to do this editing, and I got to talk through this and grab this and everything. Completely talked myself out of it. All the videos are literally sitting on my camera, and I'm like, bro, I really got to, lock in and do it. Just do it and do the editing and get it together and put it out there, because I think you can do it. It can be done. I've done videos before. I've done editing before, and relatively my videos have come out okay. So I'm like, okay, I can do it. I just got to get past that part of the editing.
Yeah.
So
once you keep doing it, yeah.
Cadillac, let me ask you this, man. When you shoot your videos, are you shooting them with editing in mind already? Like, hey, I want it to come out like this. I want this here and this here, and like I don't know if that's sounding right, but I'm just trying to figure out while you're actually doing your video, are you doing it with editing in mind already, rather than just shooting the video and then go to the computer and then have to edit it from there? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense, because like in the beginning, when my first video, I was just talking in front of the camera, and I was talking and talking and talking and talking, and then I got down to editing. I was like, okay, I did way too much talking. I gotta cut this shit.
Right.
And then it'd be like I did like 20 minutes of talking, and I'm like, damn, now I gotta cut this down to like 5-6 minutes. Ain't nobody trying to listen to this after like 5 minutes. They like, nah, I'm good, bro.
Right.
So now when I shoot, I try to lock in on the shoe real quick. Like, here's the shoe, here's the colorway, here's this, here's that, here's the on foot. Boom, I'm done. Let's get it out. And I try to make my videos around anywhere from like 4 to 5 minutes, because I'm like, listen, I ain't trying to keep you long. Just give me 8 good preacher minutes. You know what I'm saying? Give me 8 good preacher minutes. Let me hit you with this real quick. Let me give you your on foot so you can see it. You tell me what you think about it, and you can be on your way and go to the next video.
Right.
So I have it in my head like, okay, I can knock this out. I know what I want to do it, and then get in front of the computer and be like, all right, so now I got to do this, and I got to do this, and I got to do this. And that's the only part I got to get past, because I'm just like, so.
I want to tell y'all something. Like, this is something that I noticed, and we started doing. I noticed that I'm not going to be Jock Slade. I noticed that I'm not going to be him. I'm not going to be as detailed as he is when he's reviewing sneakers. So what I started doing was, our reviews became more of our thoughts on the shoe. We may point out some things on the shoes. We ain't gonna catch everything. So what I started doing was just wherever I got the shoe from, they usually have a description of that shoe, and I put it in the description box, because we started getting people asking questions. Does it have this? Does it have that? I just put it in the description box, man. So our reviews are basically just our opinions because I realized that I was not gonna be Jock Slade, man. This dude is just on a whole nother level.
Yeah,
He's so detailed with the actual shoe. I haven't seen a video where he missed anything on any of the shoes that he reviewed. Because I've had a lot of shoes that I reviewed that after I was done with the video, and I refused to do the video over again. I was like,
there you
oh
go.
snap,
yeah.
I missed this part of
Yeah.
the shoe. Oh snap, it do have this. Oh, it came with an extra pair of laces that was broke off in the box. You know, like oh well. I'll put it in the description box or a full description of it. But I like you have to, the more you do it, you have to figure out like what's your style. Because we don't do a script or anything either. So now we've done so many of these videos that we just start. We know what we're going to talk about. We're going to do an unboxing video. We're going to show the shoe. We're going to give you BRoll. We're just going to give you our opinion of the shoe. That's all it's going to end up being.
Mm-hmm.
And we just going to leave it at that. Because the whole trying to give you a description, because I miss stuff every time I go back and watch the video. I forgot to tell y'all this or something. I'm like, let me 10-minute edit, throw that thing up, and do a thumbnail and go about the rest of my day.
That's what I use the ticker for. If you notice, sometimes if I miss something, and then afterwards, while I'm editing, I look it up or I see something, and I just make the correction because I used to go, oh, I said this and I meant that. I was like, no, just correct it and keep it moving. I'm not going back to do that video.
I'm going back.
Not going.
This is not a nationally televised program. This is just it's YouTube, man. Just get you a little edit. I've cut stuff out before, and now I'm at the point where Kiana don't necessarily need to see the video because she know I'm not going to just have her out there like why did you leave that in there? Like, so quick edits, man. Like when we do unboxing videos in the sneaker room, we don't do no crazy transitions. It's just cut. I cut stuff out. I used to be one of those people that used to cut ums out a lot. So anytime I said I used to cut it out every time because it used to upset me. But the more I did more videos, I actually got better at speaking. So I didn't say and as much. So I didn't have to cut it out as much. But now I don't even really cut that stuff out unless it's just redundant. But other than that, just quick edits, man, because now you just know what to say.
I got a good question for y'all. Do you think, and this is just my opinion, do you think background music that you add in your videos plays a big part in like setting up basically like the, I don't want to say ambiance, but kind of like the tempo for the video?
I do. Like yeah, I think I haven't really been looking for more music like I should be. I'm starting to use the same music that I always use. But I always feel like that music sets the tone. To me, it really depends on our mood, what kind of music I put on our videos. Like if I'm just feeling laid back and chill. But the reason I say music makes a difference because it kind of sets the tone as your energy. How your energy comes across on that video, that music kind of plays a part in it too. And I've done videos where it was no music behind me, and I was like, man, I need some help. Give me some of this music on here because my energy wasn't there, and I wasn't going to do the video over again.
Okay.
It's different. I think the music plays a big role, especially like Marcus. I know he does a lot of BRoll. If you have BRoll, if you have on foot, I feel like you need something because you're not talking unless you're talking during that time. I feel like you need something. And honestly, I get a lot of people in my comments asking me, hey, what's that beat or where's that music from? And so, I feel like it plays a big role in your videos. So I definitely, I actually always use it at some point in the video.
I think for me, I agree 100%. I'm always going to use it on BRoll. To me, otherwise it's just going to lay there. And I'm not, I'm not a type of person that does like talking over B-roll. So if I've
Yeah.
got a section that has B-roll, usually mine tend to be more towards the tail end of the videos. I'm going to drop it in there. Sometimes I will drop it into the entire video as just kind of like a backtrack.
Uh-huh.
But for me, I just have a feeling. Sometimes I feel like I'm just having a conversation about whatever it is. And I just feel like hopefully the conversation was engaging enough, or I'm trying to share some particular, like tie it into a particular event or something like that. And I don't really, I don't think to drop in music. But then there are other times where, like I just did that, the KD Pearl video, and I chose to, after the fact, put a track behind it. But I don't go in thinking to put music on anything except for B-roll. And I think the only exception would be when I did those the videos for the sneaker hunt.
Uh-huh.
Those were like 45-minute videos, and they never started to be. I was just, who's out there. I was filming stuff, and it just kind of built up to that. That absolutely needed music, because you need to be able to have that at transitions as a distraction to carry you. One type of music can take you from one, thing
Uh-huh.
to the next. You can use that to indicate that you're switching from one thing to another. So that, is a definite. But for my normal videos, for me, it's kind of like I'd have to go back. I have no clue really to say. I probably have more videos that don't have music than I do, but I would say probably within the last year to 18 months, I've probably been maybe 60-40, 60% no music other than B-roll, and then 40% like the entire video. But if I put a track in the entire video, when it comes to the B-roll, I try to choose a different track. So it wouldn't be the same thing running throughout the whole thing. If I've got like a backing track for when I'm talking, when I get to the B-roll, I try to change the mood and something different.
Okay. Yeah. But when it comes to the last couple of videos I've done, I've felt like music kind of like sets the tone, and I'm more partial to like New York based music and instrumentals and things of that nature. So I'll try to throw that in there, kind of like to give it like a little bit more of a New York feel.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's the thing. Like when I watch certain videos, when I like even with the intros, and I hear the intros in the beginning, it has me hyped up to watch the video. Like when the Soulmates video comes on and I hear that, take it to the I'm already hyped to watch the video. So and it's like that. Like Q has that the song that she plays in her videos. Like I can't get that beat out of my head. Like,
Right.
And I'll sit there and watch the video and hear the beat of the song, and I'm jamming to the beat while watching the video and stuff like that. So, to me, I feel like music, kind of like sets the tone, and you kind of remember the music when it goes with the video. And there are times when I sit there like, damn, what song is that? Like, I need to look that up on Shazam and see what that.
Shazam it.
Yeah.
So how does that work with the
music.
music? How does that work? I mean, as far as like, because I know y'all used to have Talib Kweli, right? So
Yeah, then we started getting some emails about that from YouTube. So that's when I started going on SoundCloud.
Yeah, that's what
So
how do you select the music, and what is prohibited and what's not when it comes to
copyright? Any music that you hear on the radio, anything like that is copywritten. So you can't use that to monetize your video. So if you choose to use it, the person that owns that music will be able to monetize your video. So it's like you want to get some original music if you can. So what I started doing was going on SoundCloud. So a lot of people, I think Splash, Drippy asked me about this too, because he heard a song. He's like, how are you able to play this song and still monetize your video? Well, I told him, it's not the exact song. So a lot of the music that you hear on our videos are like, it's different. You know the track, but you hear it over different music. Maybe a DJ put a different beat to it. So when that's free to use there because it's not that song anymore. I think I did Childish Gambino's "This Is America" on one of our videos. A few of our videos, I've used it, but it was a different beat over it. So if you go on SoundCloud, it's SoundCloud artists for days. They'll let you. Most of them will let you download the music for free. Some people I've sent messages and asked them, could I use their music? They said it was cool, and I put that in the description box. And like, I'll still get some music. I would get emails about copyright claims, but I always disputed them because I gave credit to the artist and they said I could use it, and YouTube just lets it go after that. Like, they don't really pursue it beyond that. But a lot of times that keeps people from even disputing it. Once they get that email, a lot of people just stop and like, oh, I need to take that video down or take the music off of it. But nah, I dispute it because I got this from the actual artist.
I think I'm gonna get me a beat machine and start making beats for
There you go.
That's a good one too. That's a good one too.
You know, because I used to have a Dr. Rhythm back in the day. I can, and I used to beat on the desk for the rappers back when I was in high school and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, that could be another revenue stream because most of the music that I use, if it's not my original stuff, it is the free stuff that comes from YouTube.
Oh, from the audio gallery.
Yeah, and I'm sure that when people are posting in that, if it gets used, they get some. I'm sure that there's some form of payment or something that allows them to get paid. So yeah, go on. Just throw your beats up there, Hop.
I'm gonna get my Swiss beats on.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
I'm gonna get my Diddy on. Take that.
Yeah.
I think the thing I find funny about the music thing is actually just something Q made a comment earlier. Like I changed the intro again because of Soulmates. This is not a joke. I'm not trying to blow up your skirt, bro. When you all started doing that thing, I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. I want to try to do something like that, but do it in my own way. And maybe I'd seen it. I know I'd seen it on other videos, but I just wasn't really. The light didn't go off in my head. So, but I was like, I don't want to use any. I got to figure out how to try to use my own, some of my own music. And because I use a video of my daughters and my wife in it towards the tail end, was the reason I selected that the song that I wrote in
this
that.
But it's a story about a little boy and girl.
But when every time that happens, it gives me a little bit of joy in my heart. It's better than hearing your song on the radio. To hear somebody else sing your music is very dope. It's very dope. So just know that y'all bless my heart.
Come on, doom doom.
Yeah, you hear that little
No, I get the same thing with OG's intro, and I get it with Trey D's, man. Trey D, your intro always makes me want to listen to a UGK album.
Oh, UGK.
Like, cause I know it's Pimp C coming in, and I'm like, I want to hear the rest of this song.
Yeah. Yeah, the song it's just not. I don't think the song is big enough, man. Or you can clip it down to where you're not gonna get hit with a copyright strike. I think.
I know you ain't gonna get hit with, but I know the song. Yeah. It just makes me want to go like find that album and start listening to that doom 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 doom.
Yeah, man.
Then they got a good guitar and everything. I want to go grab an old school and just go swinging down the middle of the street, man. Just going back and forth.
Trey, you gotta forgive me, man. I just subscribed to your channel, bro. I'm gonna check it out.
Man, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, shoot, I return it. I return the favor.
Oh, I got a channel, but ain't nothing up there, bro. So.
Oh, you ain't got? You ain't putting nothing up yet?
That's what I'm saying. I'm just getting into photography, so that's what I was saying. The videos but You
Yeah.
can check me and my boy Black Ass African out on Retro Talk Forum.
Oh
We got-
yeah, no, yeah. Okay. I thought you had a channel.
I do, but ain't nothing on there.
It just ain't nothing on it. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
ain't
I'm with
nothing
you.
on there.
I'm with you on
That's
that.
it. We're gonna keep pressing you. You know,
Yeah,
it'll come. It'll come.
yeah. I'm kind of like Caddy. It's like when I hear about all y'all talking about it's taking 2 hours to do a 10-minute video. I'm like,
But like
Used to.
Yeah,
it,
used to.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not that bad now.
and it doesn't have to. Now, you know, like for me, sometimes I'll spend probably more time than I should because I'm just trying to do a certain thing. Or I'm trying to maybe use a new effect or something, and I need to figure out how to do it. So, but literally, I mean, I've done like the video that I did where I was talking to myself in the car. I did that on my phone while I was in a meeting at work. Had a teleconference thing in one ear, and I had a thing for the phone in the other ear. So I'm listening to the conversation, responding when I needed to, and I edited that on my phone because I knew what I wanted to do,
Right.
and there was enough pieces there to just kind of stick them together, and so it wasn't one of those painful. And actually, if I had been home on the big computer, it would have been a 10-minute video because it would have been a whole lot easier to do using those editing programs on the phone. I don't see how people can do that. That job.
I'm scared to use that phone. I'm scared to edit on the phone.
It's not fun, bro. It is not fun. And doing everything is so different, and like it's something that would just take you a second. You gotta sometimes do multiple different ways to kind of try to get it. And there's some things I won't even try because it's like, yeah, there's probably a way you can do it, but I don't want to know what it is.
What else we got? Did we talk about all the equipment? I got this gimbal.
That's what I gotta get next.
I got this gimbal.
is that like the free floating camera machine? Like?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've only used it for the last few like BRoll videos that we did, like style videos, and that's me learning how to use it, and then me teaching Kiana how to use it. It's probably harder for me to teach her how to use it than it is for me to actually use it. But we don't know anybody else out here, so I can't film nobody else. So,
but she did pretty good with those.
Yeah,
she did good
with the VP stuff, man. That's on point.
Yeah, so she been. I don't know how much longer she gonna be able to do that.
Right.
So yeah, I got this because I wanted something that was strong enough to hold my camera up. I was doing handheld, and I just got this maybe a month ago. So this is like God sent to be able to use this thing for that camera and not having to worry about all that shake and stuff to your camera and your videos. And it's just multi-use. What I like about it the most is, of course, you can use it as a tripod, set that down, but also you can take this part off and put it up here, and you can hold it down low so you can get your shoes and everything, and it still be steady. So it was something that I wanted for a long time. I know Trey D, I talked to him about it for a long time. I really wanted it, but I just did not want to spend that money on it. So I just started saving up, and I got it off of, that's another thing I got off of eBay.
Nice.
It was like $300.
Does it hold the 16 or both of your lenses?
Yes, that's what I use it for. That's the only thing I use it for.
Okay.
I use it for the 16 to 35 with the camera, and it holds it no problem.
Cool.
Then I know OG was asking me about lights. We got 2 softbox lights. I got one on right now, but we use these Studio Pros. I got these off of Amazon, and they have 3 settings, and that's all we use if I'm not using the window. that's in front of us in our videos. Depends on what time of day.
Yeah, that's what I hate. I have where I am. There's no. Well, I have one room in the basement that has natural light, but I rarely do a video over there because it's really that's where the studio is, and it's just where I am most of the time right now. I have to try to figure out to rig up something to get, and I still haven't gotten like in my mind. I know what I want my lighting to look like, but I got too many shoes. I can't position everything the way I want.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
I want to, but we coming up on about 2 hours. I didn't want to stay. I didn't know we would even go this long. It's been dope conversation, but I want to try to wind it down. But let me ask you guys: is this something that maybe you want to try to do again sometime in the future?
Sure.
I'm down. I'm down.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, I'm down.
That's what's up. Well, I think it's only fitting that I follow the Rep Milwaukee 414 a protocol and let everybody just go around and kind of give their social information for those people who may come across this video and don't know where they can find you and all that good stuff. And whoever wants to go first can go first.
I'll start it off. Yo, what up? Marcus from one half of the Soulmates, Marcus and Kiana. Y'all can follow us on, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, if you're on Twitter, Facebook, at _Soulmates. We try our best to put a video out every week on YouTube. So, check us out.
I guess I'll go. It's HotDog18. You can find me on IG at HotDog18. And also Retro Talk Forum with me and my bro Black Ass African. We should be on tomorrow night, 7:00 Central Time. Don't really know what we're gonna talk about yet. We'll probably figure that out tomorrow. But normally we do stuff from the 80s and 90s, old school retro stuff, whether it's music, movies, shoes. We had a pretty decent show last week. We talked about top 10 sneakerheads in 80s and 90s sitcoms, so that we kind of went through that list. So yeah, you can find me on IG, and like I said, with my bro Hot Dog Trey, I just subscribed to you, man. I just followed you on IG too.
Man, I appreciate that. Exactly. Hey, I got the 80s and the 90s, man. That's when when everything was real.
Yeah.
I hate to be that guy, but man, that's what I'm listening to now, man. 90s music.
Oh, I'm the same way. The same way. Come through and kick it with us, man. I think you.
I'm gonna have to.
You check us out, man. And if you get a chance, man, check out some of our older shows, man.
Yeah, I might have to, man. But I mean, it's me, man. Trey D Kicks, and I am, of course, on YouTube, on IG as well. I'm not as influential on IG as most of these other guys are, but I get on there every now and then, man. But I am almost at 5,000 subscribers. I'm doing a giveaway once I hit 5,000 subs, and so y'all subscribe to the channel, man. That's me.
That's what's up. Caddy?
What's good? It's your boy Cadillac Jackson, 1/3 of Talking Kicks with my brother OGSneekerz and my brother Beer Jedi. You can catch us Wednesdays at 8:30 on our Talking Kicks channel. If you haven't seen the last one featured Retro Talk Forum. Well, we talked about the top 10 shoes of the last decade. It was definitely a dope show. So if you're into sneakers and you're into talking about, the culture of hip hop or, just our world in general, and you're looking to laugh, you definitely need to check out our show. You can catch me also on my IG at Cadillac_Jackson and on my YouTube. New videos coming soon because apparently I need to shoot more videos.
Come on, man.
So and that's it. That's all. OG, appreciate you having me on, fellas. Definitely appreciate the convo. The convo was very, very dope. Learned a lot from it.
Nah, man, I appreciate it. This is something I had kind of kicked around with Marcus and asked him, if he had anyone that he would recommend, and he told me he actually reached out to Trey D, and we kind of been trying to find a time to do it, and this time popped up, and I'm extra happy that Caddy, both you and Hop grabbed the bait and jumped on for sure. Because the more voices, to me, it's a good thing.
Right.
I did want to. I don't know if IBA is still in the chat, but he had asked a question about going from shadows to light, and I'm guessing that he's probably working outside and maybe vlogging and walking. If you're using a DSLR, if you put your camera in aperture mode, that will help you with that transition, because the camera will make the change that it needs to make in order to kind of keep you on a more balance. If you're using your phone, you just gonna have to kind of be at the mercy. Although the phone does do some adjustments as well, but they're a little bit slower, and you kind of maybe have to fix that in the editing, because it's really not beyond that I'm aware of. There's not a whole lot that you can to do, especially in that immediacy, because even if you were using like a filter or something like that, it's still only going to be opening or closing based on what the aperture is doing. But I appreciate you guys for certain. I'm OGSneekerz, of course. I got my sign back there, but my batteries are about to die. So even when I forget to say something about Talking Kicks, you see that it says Talking Kicks. I am 1/3 of the Talking Kicks crew, and I look forward to being able to do this again, for sure, because it has been fun. So just like when we talk about sneakers, we say wear your sneakers. If you got a camera, if you got a phone and you want to do something, do it. Just get out there and shoot. Don't think about it. Just be about it. Just take the pictures. Make the video, and you just got to start. If you don't never start, then you're never gonna know whether or not it's something that you want to do, or figure out how to do it. And if you have a DSLR, take it off the P, put it on the M. Figure out what it means. Figure out what it means. Please take it off the P. Normally the P is a good thing, but in terms of camera, the P is a bad thing. You need to move to the M. Move to the M. But we're going to sign off. I'm 1 minute over 2 hours, man. I appreciate y'all coming through. This has been a whole lot of fun, and I look forward to the next time that we do it. But until then, it is your boy, OGSneekerz, wishing all of you total camera family well love. All right.